Hello. We've got Opie in the house, if you hear anything in the background. This morning, I feel like I just kind of want to maybe talk with you. I like to share a lot of my spiritual growth with you guys. Reoccurring theme. It's come full circle. This makes sense. I've finally got some sort of answer to something that was really, really challenging to me. I just asked God the other day, like, yo, what is up? Tell me what is going on. And the Bible was right there. I opened to the page, the book of Job. Now, granted, I've read a little bit. I kind of knew in the periphery of my knowledge that this was a man, that he had everything, and then Satan was like, yo, why is he not tripping on me? Why is he not fearful? He's all with God. I was like, all right, I'm going to test him. And he goes through a bunch of tribulations, and that's as much as I knew. I really don't want to go through deeply into that book because I was so wounded at the time, and I felt like I was reading my story, and it was so trippy. And I didn't want to know. The thing is that this sort of humbling experience that I feel I just went through, it was the molding and the creation of who I actually really needed to be to get to this place. You see, you guys, I went through some crazy stuff. It's my job. I have to, basically, without saying too much, come in and observe and train different branches of government and their law enforcement. That is how the galactic agencies work, like an ambassador. So I was doing some heavy work. Very humbling. And I just saw a YouTuber. It's so funny because I wanted to talk about this, and she just posted on how to be arrogant because you're hot and you should never be humble. And I don't agree. The only thing that got me through this past year was being humble. I've kind of renewed my relationship with a lot of things out of being less fear-based. Basically, I've learned that there's no reason to have fear about truth and diving for that knowledge. It takes a lot of bravery in oneself, but yeah, what I learned is it is good to look at things and do the work that is difficult. So what I did recently, I was asking those questions and going through all of that in my mind, and I opened up the Bible to the book of Job, and I got my answer. So like I said, I had limited knowledge. Well, I have limited knowledge about the Bible itself. It's not something I ingrained myself in. I don't claim to be Christian, but like I said, I do look for that light within, and the reflections that I can perceive. So these verses were coming to life. Ending of that scripture is him being restored and God just giving him everything and him having a wonderful life. And I didn't expect that, you guys. I was so terrified to read the rest of that book because I had only read it half through, and it was just getting bad. And like I said, I was kind of feeling my own life parallel and mirror a lot of those things that were happening, and just the humiliation he went through is insane. And the fact that he was able to be just so humbled by it all and just still freaking preaching the word, even though there were times when it was done, like he couldn't even understand God. In order to get to the higher realms, with your divine nature, i.e., suffering less. You need to humble yourself to the higher forces. You need to become a malleable, flexible sort of conduit for that intelligence. Arrogance becomes a weakness. The dark forces will harvest you. It's not that frequency of light that can be moved into a greater force. You know, I'm human. I struggle with arrogance, but when I do, I really understand that it's all rooted in fear. It's basically just me feeling scared that I'm not worthy. Humbleness is rooted in the knowing that you're enough, and spirit can work through you easier. See now that the paradise is within. When we totally lack that outer world, it doesn't mirror what we truly desire. It doesn't affect us anymore because we've entered that Eden, the internal paradise. I mean, that dude, Job, he went through hell. And I just feel like I went through initiation after initiation in the past year where I was just really, really questioning. And I mean questioning on a level that I've never questioned these questions before. I wanted to know some things that were out of the realm of my understanding until now. And reading the end of that scripture, basically understanding this journey that I've been on, it makes me understand truly and deeply that I would have never survived without tapping into that humble nature. So I think it's like crucial that I share this with you guys because there's so many other creators out there saying no, that you're never gonna make it without stomping on others, without having this excessive pride in yourself. Like, no, you're not gonna make it unless you can step the F down and learn to serve truly from this selfless place. Because there's gonna come a time where nothing makes sense. And you're gonna be questioning those questions. It's not going to make sense and you're going to freak out and your arrogance is going to be and mean nothing. It's nothing. It's a barrier. It's a barrier to your peace and to your service to others and your connection with God. So I want to just peacefully pray for those people right now. I just know that there's nothing to this experience anymore other than trying to understand how to be in alignment with this higher force. There's nothing good or bad. I'm not worried about the Bible anymore. You know, I'm out of this fear-based world where the darkness doesn't affect me. Like the Illuminati, like you guys are just, it's all tied into everything, and it's okay to observe it and witness it and like discuss it. There's things that are a part of our world that we need to not come with a fear-based mentality, otherwise it's going to override. You know, you need to be the one in charge of it. You know, I'm just willing to show up in that way for you guys. So this new world that's opening up for the humble folk, okay? And you can still be spicy and funny and witty and fiery, but you don't have to wear the false egoic chip so greatly that it inflicts your service to this I'm just talking to myself.